Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Brandon here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Brad, and he's selling his dropshipping and Amazon FBM business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Brad, and how are you doing today?
I'm good, Brandon. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's nice having you on the call. I'm excited to talk to you about this business you've created. But before we get into the details and the questions, let's go into a quick overview. So it is a dropshipping and Amazon FBM business in the home and outdoors niches created in June 2018. The average monthly revenue for the business is $103,868 and makes an average of $8,523 per month in net profit. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 47650 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing and start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, what's included in the sale are the domain and all site content and files, the Amazon FBM account, an email list with over 1,800 subscribers, social media accounts for both Facebook and Instagram, and it is worth noting that inventory is not normally included in the list price, and further details can be provided to active buyers. So, Brad, can you tell me a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure, yeah. So, I would say probably the end of 2015, the beginning of 2016 is when I first started a dropshipping business. A lot of people were doing the Facebook advertising with low ticket items and importing from overseas. And that's exactly how I got introduced and got started. So I did that for a couple of years, and I learned, the whole marketing side of things and creatives, and I learned the analytics side of the business as well. So I learned how to build SOPs and train virtual assistants. So once I kind of learned all that, I discovered the high ticket industry and the high ticket sales. So I decided to sell that low ticket store, and I was interested in building a high ticket store. Basically, it attracted me that you only need to make one or two sales to make the same profit that a low ticket store would take hundreds of sales to do. So I just took all that knowledge I learned from the previous store, and 2018, I built this high ticket.
Okay, no, that's really awesome. And so does this business primarily make money from the drop shipping side of the business, or is a lot of it coming from FBM as well?
No, majority is through the drop shipping, but the Amazon side is nice ancillary revenue that comes in as well. So kind of keeps it balanced out.
Okay. And then, so why decide to go with this specific business model, over, let's say an Amazon FBA or just strictly FBM only?
It just attracted me to have, no inventory and a very low fixed overhead cost. And just with that model, it seemed that it was very versatile. You could always experiment with new things without having to worry about moving inventory or holding a bunch of stock of items that you were kind of liable for.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, taking away a little bit of that risk for the storage fees and the other inventory, costs as well. And so why did you choose to go into this specific niche? Was it similar to some of the other businesses you were running in the past?
Actually, it was completely different from other businesses that I started. I really just kind of chose this niche and stuck with it and stuck to my gun. And through a little bit of trial and error in the first, few months of getting it up and running, I found a sweet spot, and I kind of dug into that and just kind of went from there.
Okay. No, that's really great to hear. And, it's always good to have a little bit of experience in, one particular business model before you really go all in on it. Now, why is it that you've decided at this time, Brad, you want to sell the business?
Basically, I think it's a great time because the business is running completely on its own. There's totally streamlined and scalable systems in place. So now that it is completely basically on autopilot, I just think it's a great time for a buyer to step in, add whatever creative ideas that they can bring to the table, and take it from there.
Okay. Yeah, no, really great opportunity for someone that wants to come in and really scale the business to the next level. And was there anything that you learned while growing this business that you plan on applying to future projects down the road?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Tons of things on the marketing side of things. And of course, dealing with customers and dealing with suppliers and building those relationships and how valuable those can be and moving forward into other areas of business. I think it's definitely going to be helping out a lot.
Now, on the flip side of that, Brad, was there anything that you tried with this business and it just didn't give you the ROI that you were expecting?
I would say a couple of beginning of the Google, search and things. We were just starting off with Google and figuring out Google traffic and exactly how that monster can kind of work and make it work for us. So the very beginning of trying out Google search and different things like that was really interesting. And I learned a lot, but eventually we learned how to dial it down and really make it profitable.
Okay. So, mentioning Google, is that where a majority of your traffic is coming from then, is from organic search?
Organic search combined with Google Shopping as well. Yeah, that's where the majority comes from.
Okay. And are you doing anything else in terms of marketing, such as, sending out a promotion newsletter to your email list or maybe even using some of your social media profiles?
Yeah, we're absolutely retargeting via Facebook, Instagram, or social media. So we found that the Google combined with the social media retargeting is really, really powerful. And then, of course, we do stay in contact with our email list and we're always sending out promotions as well.
Okay. And then are you currently running any paid ads or is everything just strictly coming in through organically?
Well, the paid ads we're running is strictly Google Shopping right now. Okay. And other than that, well, of course, we do have the retargeting. So those two combined is where our paid traffic comes from.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, hypothetically speaking, Brad, if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways that you would try and grow it?
I would definitely grow with some further suppliers. We actually just onboarded a supplier in the last few months, a pretty highly sought after vendor, where a lot of other dealers that we know gotten turned down. So we know that there are other suppliers out there that we'd love to bring on board. And so we recently did that with a new supplier. And then other than that, I think scaling the Amazon side of things can really prove beneficial as well. But other than that, I think just in terms of expanding our services that we offer, expanding, where our customer reach can come from, expanding what we can do for our customers, after post sales, et cetera, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, plenty of opportunity to grow the, net profits as well, implementing some of those things that you'd mentioned. Now, can you describe some of the typical tasks or work that you're doing for the business at this time?
So at this time, I don't have a huge role in the business. Like I said, it's completely on its own. I mean, my virtual assistant, who's been with me for the past 3 years, she also, would obviously be transferred with the business if a buyer didn't already have one. But she basically takes care of all the daily order fulfillment, order processing. We have customer service that's available 24/7 as well via phone and email. So all of that is pretty much taken off our plate. And other than that, with the dropship model, there's that whole side of the business is taken care of as well.
Now, the relationships you have with the dropshippers, do they require much of a feedback from you or, communication on a constant basis, or is that all pretty much set in stone and, passive as well?
Yeah, no, it's very passive. I mean, we have great relationships, so we do stay in contact, especially, over these last few weeks. We've definitely stayed in contact and made sure everything's up and running. And surprisingly, every single vendor and supplier said that they're in great shape and told us that shipping is not delayed and nothing is being affected as of right now. So we're really happy with that. And we're happy that our suppliers are in good health.
Mm-hmm. That's really great to hear, especially in today's day and age. And I noticed also in the back end, you had mentioned something about a few, offline or maybe even some other commission related services that might even be of use within this model as well.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely offer some other services. We offer installation and assembly services in addition as an upsell to some of our products. And we found that ever since we added that, I would say close to about 7 or 8 months ago now, once we added that into our business, it seemed to really skyrocket and customers seem to really appreciate that. It's kind of like an all-in-one place for customers to purchase their item, get it professionally installed, all in one place.
Okay. And do you already have SOPs or some type of, process or layout for the new buyer to take that over and to really, capitalize on that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of the SOPs are in place and they're ready to be implemented. They're very duplicatable. So everything is pretty much turnkey.
Okay. No, that's really great to hear. Now, Brad, what do you feel are maybe some of the potential risks associated with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
So any risks I would say would probably have to do with any overseas suppliers. I mean, it's always, a little unpredictable when items are coming from overseas if things were to get delayed. But in terms of that, I mean, we're always trying to keep up to date with making sure products are in stock. It's never fun when a great product goes out of stock when it's selling really well, but that rarely, rarely happens because we've made sure to implement some safeguards for that. So other than that, just making sure that, your items are there when the customers need them. That's pretty much all I could think of.
Okay. And then, I know you described some of the typical work that you're doing, and you have a VA that's willing to continue on to help with some of that work. But do you feel that there's any specific skill set that a buyer should already have prior to acquiring this asset?
I would definitely say someone who can use customer service and think from the customer side of things, especially when we're kind of having an all-in-one offer through our store. Someone that can really understand where a customer's coming from, what they're looking for, and thinking the way a customer thinks. I think that's a good skill set to have. And then in addition, just being able to delegate and communicate, with the virtual assistant and also with suppliers, and make sure that communication lines are open if they need to be. And yeah.
Okay. So just a little bit of background with customer service and marketing, and maybe a little bit of information or knowledge in the drop shipping space might be a little bit of help. Mm-hmm. Now, Brad, are you willing to commit to a non-compete, meaning any future projects or businesses that you start managing or owning, you'll stay out of this specific niche?
Mm-hmm. Oh, certainly. Yeah.
Great. And then how much support are you willing to offer potential buyers? Are you going with the typical 30 days of email and Skype support, or did you have something in addition that you would like to add on to that?
Yeah, we're willing to do, up to 90 days of Skype and email support. We're willing to walk through, the new buyer with our processes. They're all very easy, but definitely willing to help in any way that we can.
Okay. No, that's really great to hear. And are you open to negotiating something like an earnout where you'll receive a large portion of the sales price up front and then smaller payments closing out the deal a couple months after that?
It's something we'd definitely take a look at. Yeah, we wouldn't turn anything down right away.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Now, just a few more sideline questions for you, Brad. Is there anyone who inspired you while you were building this business that our listeners might like as well?
Inspired. Let's see. Back in the whole Facebook advertising days and the low ticket stores, I would say I definitely followed Ezra Firestone a lot and learned some good marketing skills from him. Haven't followed up with too much of his material lately, but I would say learned a lot of the marketing side of things early on from him. And other than that, I would say, no, there's not too many that come to mind. Okay. Lots of different resources, though.
Gotcha. Now, what advice would you give to our listeners that you wish you knew when you first started this business?
I would definitely say pick that one niche and stick to it. Don't try and jump all over the place. You'll definitely turn out way more profitable to stick to one thing and really dive in. Like it says, inch wide, mile deep. And I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's hard to keep focused on one specific goal when you've got, hundreds of other tasks and goals that are leading you in a different direction. Now, was there any software or tools that really helped you at the start of building up this business?
Definitely. We found, since we got our relationships with Amazon and Walmart, we, found a multi-listing tool that saved a ton of time. So everything could be synced up at once, inventory, pricing, everything could be pretty much done at once, and it would affect all the platforms. That turned out to be a huge help. And then I would just say the email communication service that we use is really, really good and helps stay in communication and really keeps customers up to date, which is good with a high ticket store. When people are spending thousands of dollars, it's good to keep them in the loop and make sure the expectations are set from the very beginning.
Yeah, no, that's really important to stay on top of your customer inquiries. Now, what was it that drove you or motivated you while you were growing this business?
Well, I was basically trying to duplicate what my original low ticket store did in an entire year. And I just had a goal that I had set to have that as a monthly revenue goal. And that was what we were going for. And we achieved that last year, and it's been growing month over month ever since.
Nice. Yeah, that's really great to hear that you've been able to have that much, growth and meeting and exceeding your goals. It's very important. Now, why do you think that this business model is great for those who are maybe just, starting to do some research or interested in getting into the online space?
I think it's a great model because you have a lot of flexibility. A supplier is willing to do all of the hard work as long as you can drive them customers. So if you can drive sales for them, they will do the shipping. They will even sometimes do customer service, and they will just take care of everything A to Z from the fulfillment side of things. So I think the dropship model is really good for someone who's not trying to invest a whole lot into having a warehouse full of items or which items do I need to purchase ahead of time. And it just removes a ton of weight off your shoulders and allows, honestly, the most profit without having a ton of cash requirements.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And, taking away a lot of the stress and the headache that comes with managing a bunch of inventory and a bunch of different SKUs is, a huge benefit to really being able to scale the business. Mm-hmm. Now, putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, Brad, why do you think that this business is worth buying?
I think it's really worth buying since, one, it's already streamlined and it's ready to be scaled. And another thing is, I think there's a very diverse revenue base. So there are no one or two items making up the bulk of our sales. The revenue is spread out among many products, among many suppliers, which is really good. It's spread out among services like the professional installation service we offer, as well as different sales channels, Walmart, Amazon, etc. We also have strong established supplier relationships. Many who are no longer taking new online sellers have actually recently, some of them cut back on the dealers that they're dealing with to an exclusive few who have access to their dropship programs. And on top of that, we're still bringing on new suppliers as well. So I think it's just a really unique business where customers can come into our store and find the perfect fit for them. And with our installation service, they can have their new item and have it professionally installed all in one place without lifting a finger.
Yeah, no, it's a really great model that you've created here, and, great opportunity for any potential buyers that are, doing their due diligence and looking at this listing to really capitalize on it and push it to the next level. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up, Brad. Was there anything else that you'd like to share that I might have missed in this call?
No, Brandon, I think we covered a lot. I think it's just definitely an exciting opportunity. So yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, great. Well, it was really nice having you on the call today, Brad, and looking forward to seeing this listing getting sold for you in the next few weeks, and hope you take care.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks, Brad. So, all right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and to see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 47650. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.